Hello, this is the 11th day of Christmas, January the 5th, and as promised, I am sharing with you some paintings of St. Nicholas. We begin with the first image, which is an icon from the Russian Orthodox Church showing St. Nicholas, and it dates to the 8th century, and it shows an elderly man with a beard in a bishop's outfit. He's holding a Bible or some sacred writing and is blessing the viewer with this Greek or Russian Orthodox way of blessing the crowd using the forefingers and the thumb. And then he is heavily encrusted or surrounded by this gold foil swirls indicating his halo, and then a flat gold foil like a background. And then in Russian, the letters spelling out Nicholas, Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas's day, his feast day, is December 6th. And he was the 4th century bishop of Myra. Myra is a town or region in Turkey. St. Nicholas is the patron saint of Russia and Greece and of sailors and children. And he was noted for his generosity, especially to children. After the Reformation, St. Nicholas was largely forgotten in the Protestant church, although his memory was kept alive in Holland as Sinterklaas. There, St. Nicholas is said to arrive on horseback on his feast day, December 6th, dressed in a bishop's red robe, as shown in this painting by Nicola Grassi, and a mitre, usually a mitre on his head, and accompanied by Black Peter, a freed slave or Moor, which he doesn't show up in any of these two paintings that I'm showing you. And Black Peter was to help Santa Claus or St. Nicholas distribute sweets and presents to good children, or lumps of coal, potatoes, I've found that interesting, potatoes or switches to bad children. The Dutch took the tradition to New Amsterdam, which is, of course, now New York City, where St. Nicholas was transformed into Santa Claus by the English-speaking majority. And here are two popular images from the Victorian period showing St. Nicholas, which, of course, then becomes Santa Claus to us in the 20th century and 21st century. The resulting image of Santa Claus in the United States is crystallized in the 19th century with this illustration by the illustrator Thomas Nast. He was a well-known illustrator who, along with Clement Clark Moore's 1822 poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, plus The Night Before Christmas and All Through the House, invented the modern image of Santa Claus. Incidentally, Thomas Nast also is the creator of the still popular images of the Democratic Party, represented by a donkey, and the Republican Party, represented by an elephant. Nast made 33 illustrations of Santa Claus in Harper's Weekly from 1863 to 1886. His earliest depiction of Santa Claus was in 1863 when he has an elf-like figure in this illustration passing out gifts to Union soldiers during the Civil War. But this 1881 illustration is what gave us most of the elements of Santa Claus that we know and enjoy today. Thomas Nast and many of his other illustrations show Santa Claus making toys, climbing down a chimney on top of a rooftop, flying through the sky with a sleigh driven by reindeer, and living at the North Pole. These were all images that Thomas Nast sort of burned into our minds of what Santa Claus, where he lived, what he did, and what happened on Christmas Eve each year, delivering toys to good girls and boys. We owe the most popular image of Santa Claus, ironically enough, to Coca-Cola's advertising of the soft drink in a 1931 illustration that you see here that was published in the Saturday Evening Post by illustrator Haddam Sundblom, showing a Santa with rosy cheeks, a white beard, twinkling eyes, a warm, happy, and jolly character that we all know and love. And of course, in our childhood, saw these images and said, this is what Santa Claus should be. If he doesn't look this way, this is the personification of Santa Claus in our minds. But I wanted to also end with this modern Christmas card-like image of Santa Claus in an unusual stance. He's in a forest, seated on a fallen tree limb, and he seems to be feeding the wildlife, sort of like a St. Francis character. Birds, deer, a chipmunk, a squirrel. But then if you look beyond Santa Claus in his thoughts, they come up in images that are sort of wispy and removed in the background, sort of images that tell us that Santa Claus revered the Christmas story, and that's why he was delivering toys to children, because of the great gift of Jesus to mankind, to humankind. And you see that illustrated the entire Christmas story, the Annunciation, traveling to Bethlehem, the Nativity, the shepherds coming to visit Jesus, and the wise men off to the right. Tells the whole Christmas story, and that's what motivates Santa Claus distribution of presents and gifts, because of the greatest gift given to us by God in the form of a baby boy. Thank you for joining me again on the 11th day of Christmas. Tomorrow, the 12th day of Christmas, is the final presentation on these paintings that illustrate the Christmas story and some of the fun things about Christmas that I'd like to share with you in the next presentation. Thank you.